Hey everyone, welcome back to INFP. I now feel positive. We got the journal process going on here, so I wanted to explain it, what I do for it, how it's really helped me, and how you can make it your own, how you can do your own thing with it, but still follow some of the procedures that I've gone through, because I really do feel that they're helpful. So at the top, we're talking about embracing our strengths and looking at our weaknesses in a different way, kind of redefining them, changing the frame that we're looking at our weaknesses from, and trying to make them a little bit more positive, trying to work with them instead of push against them all the time. At the top, you can see that it has just a space for ideas, thoughts, doodles, whatever you got to do, write poems or haiku, whatever you do, but throughout the day, if you keep this journal with you, it's nice to just write some things down or do it at night before you go to bed. That's actually how I do it. Or you can do it right away in the morning if that's your thing. I think that is honestly the best way to do it, is to wake up and prime yourself. But for me, I take the truth into account that I got a child. She's 1 year old, and in the morning I just can't really focus on doing my journaling stuff. It's unfortunate, but that's how it is, right? And I'm accepting that within the situation, and I'm working with it. So I do it at night before I go to bed usually. If I can sneak in some parts of it in the morning before I go to work or whatever, then I do that because it is nice to prime it. So anyway, at the top you have just this spot, this big space that you can put ideas in. You can capture whatever thoughts come about. It's kind of an idea dump. You're just putting whatever you can in there. Anything that your mind took you to, write some notes about it. Play with it, because this is our auxiliary function. This is the explorer. This is how we innovate and create new ideas. It's through getting them out. So don't worry about censoring things. Don't worry about making it look too neat, right? It's for you. It's for your eyes, right? Don't worry about who's going to see it. And just write, draw, do whatever you got to do. Get it out there. And as you can see below that main section, there's 4 quadrants, I suppose. These are the 4 main characters within us that we are working on using more efficiently and effectively. Okay, so the first one is the empath. Remember, this is about what feels good to us, what we value, our beliefs, those core aspects of ourselves that we don't change. Or we maybe change gradually, but like if somebody's asking me to do something and I check in with my values, I'm like, that's not me. That's just not something I do. And INFPs, this is how we live. This is how we make all of our decisions pretty much, is by thinking about how it resonates within us, feeling how it resonates within us. And so it's important to understand our values. And throughout the program, I do go into this. I give you some techniques and things like that. But the general concept here is write down what's important to you. The things that define you and your character. The things that you possibly want to slowly incorporate into yourself. Okay? And later on in the program, I go into another exercise about how to embody those. But just writing them down is enough for a lot of people to start that wheel going. And next to that, we have the guardian. This is about taking in life lessons, learning from those lessons, and expressing gratitude. Because we don't really use this introverted sensing, as the technical name is, our tertiary function. We don't really use that often to look at the positive things. A lot of times we just take in experiences and we feel through them, and sometimes they're not that great for us. We relive the same things over and over and over again, and we're not necessarily learning the life lessons from it. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, and this is more focusing on how we can do that. So make sure you go through your gratitude, your appreciation. Write down the good things that happened that day. Or That's how I do it, because I do it at night. Or if you do it in the morning, write down the good things that happened the previous day, or just the things that you appreciate, the things that you can have gratitude about. I'm working on improving myself. That's good. I had a good day yesterday. Work wasn't that bad. It doesn't have to be like the biggest, most amazing things like, this was the most life-changing event in my life. It doesn't matter. But just write down the good things, because we're working on bringing in those good aspects more and more, so that we have something that's going to fuel us when we think about, wow, what was today like? Then you can bring in all these positive aspects, and you can get charged, you can get energized, and you can feel more positive going into the next day. And also life lessons. We don't necessarily take acute notes, I suppose, of our life lessons. Like somebody that uses the guardian as their dominant function, their hero, or even their auxiliary function, realizes that the past is constantly showing us the way to move forward and to stabilize things, to make sure that we implement those past life lessons and we have some stability within our lives. As a tertiary function, as our sidekick, it doesn't quite do that for us. So we need to kind of teach it those lessons so that it does it for us. Okay, so write down anything that you learn that could be something that's beneficial for you. Moving on. Like, I realize that when I eat turkey, I get sleepy. It's not the most amazing revelation, but you might want to write that down so that you don't eat a lot of turkey before you got a meeting or something like that, right? Also, this is a place that I don't always do this because I've done a lot of work around forgiveness, but writing down people who you forgive, whether you actually want to or not, say, I forgive blah, blah, blah for blah, blah, blah. And just get that energy out of you. Get it away. You don't need to hold on to that stuff. That's not doing anything for you. And probably the other person's already forgotten. Or forgiven. Probably not forgiven. A lot of people don't really do that, right? So it's important for us, I feel, to go through that. To be like, I forgive you for this. I forgive you for this. Person that bumped into me on the street, I forgive you. I don't need to hold on to that stuff. Neither do you. So going from there, we're going to go on to the left side of it. Underneath the empath, we have our explorer. This is where we dream. The above note-taking part and ideas, that's all connected to explorer and empath, but it's a little bit more random. This is more for envisioning where our life could be perfect. How we could make things better. How we can make things more exciting. I just write like, this is how it is. I'm making X amount of money every month. I'm blah, blah, blah. I care for my daughter every day for several hours. Like, we hang out. That's a perfect experience for me. Write those because they're going to give you something to stretch towards. So don't worry too much about making it accurate or anything like that. This is exploring ideas outside of us that we can stretch ourselves into, that we can eventually make into our life. Okay, so write down the things that would make you really happy if you could do it. And then next to that, we have the commander. The commanders, it's a difficult area for us. It's a difficult voice to listen to because it fights with the empath, because it's another way of making decisions. It's another way of like pushing us to do things, right? But it's not looking at it through our values and through our beliefs. It's saying, suck it up. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. Let's just get it done. Let's push forward. So this area, this section here is all about what did you achieve? If it didn't go into the gratitude portion above with the guardian, then it's what did you achieve? And what are your top 1, 2, or 3 things, your tasks that you're going to do tomorrow or throughout the day if you did this in the morning. And keep them simple, but keep them with an action word. Film 1 video. Create slides. Look for jobs on blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, but like make it clear enough that you don't need to fumble with it when it's time to do the task. You don't want to stop and think about, well, how am I going to approach this? Get it out. Just get it done. Write down the step. If you don't actually 100% follow that step, that's okay. This isn't a place to punish you for not achieving things. This is a place to set things in motion so that when you're ready, you look at it and you're like, okay, that's right. I got to do that. That was my task for today. I'm going to do that. And you don't need to bounce around about it. You don't need to worry about it too much. You just do it. And you feel good about it. When you check things off lists, especially for us INFPs, it feels good. It is energizing. And it's a way of giving that empath some much needed rest. It's feeling everything. It's taking in all these feelings, all these feels. So it's time to give it a break sometimes and just go through the task that you need to do in order to achieve something, and so that you can work towards your larger goals that are probably created largely by your empath and your explorer. Okay? And last, above those 4 characters, you see that diamond that has the names like empath, explorer, guardian, commander. That is there for you to rate how you did that day, how you're feeling about your characters, how much you were into them, how much you were listening to those different voices. Because I do it at night, that's when I do it, right? If you do it in the morning, if that's the time that works better for you, set up how you want to feel, how much you want to give to each of these characters throughout the day. And then after, you might even be able to mark another dot to see if you actually met those lines. So what I'm talking about here is you have, let's imaginarily grade it from 0 to 10. Okay, so if you're looking at your empath, you're like, yeah, I was pretty into my feelings today and my values. I was upholding these values that I wrote. So I'll say it was an 8. Put a little mark there, right? Then look into your explorer. How much was I out there trying to get feedback? How much was I creating things and playing with the world instead of just playing it safe? Okay, so mark that. Maybe it was a 4, maybe it was a 7, maybe it was a 10. Maybe you had a really good day and you were just all about exploring ideas and things. Good. Okay, so you mark that, you go to the guardian, same type of thing. Was I upholding my routines, my traditions? Was I learning from past lessons? Was I a little bit more hesitant today? Because that's listening to that voice too. So go through that, and then the last one, commander. How much did I achieve today? Was I really pushing myself to live a better life? Just 1% at a time, turning the nothing into a something. Just a little binary flip. Did I do something today that got me towards my goal? Yes? Okay. That's a point for the commander. Good. Good for him. Good for her. So you go through that and then you connect them. I color it because I like to color it a little bit. And that's it. So you have a visual representation of how well you've done as well. So that you can look at that and you can reference it and be like, I actually did a little bit better today. Or I didn't really do well today. I wonder what happened there. Go back through it. Go through your journal. Piece it together. Write down the lessons learned. So if you look at my journal, it's not always that rigid, right? This is a guideline. This is a template, a place to start from, right? I change the values that I write every once in a while because I want to experiment with different ones. The guardian, sometimes I write long sentences with hyphens and extra points and smiley faces and stuff like that because I really want to feel that gratitude. Sometimes I I'm sleepy, I want to get it done a little bit, so I just kind of push through it. It's not that big of a problem. Explore, try to write those big goals, those big dreams, anything that you want to explore, any future projects that you're looking through. In the Commander, I like to write what I did today and then what I'm going to do tomorrow. That's fine, right? Do it how it works for you. Make this your own, but I suggest you stick with these 4 different characters as the main aspects, because they are the main aspects of our personality type in terms of the MBTI style. Okay, so also mine, I'll just read a couple of mine. I have at the top, I have some dream analysis, things like that. I also wrote different ideas for a game that I'm trying to design with this, and color-coded. I worked my booty off today. I was hustling for some stuff, so I wrote that, and I keep it light. It doesn't have to be all dramatic. INFPs, come on now. If you look at some of the other ones, I filmed today. The INFP project is working well, or I've been working on my game more. I play tested today, things like that. I have some drawings, right? Just when I explore ideas, sometimes it helps to draw, sometimes it helps to mind map. It's whatever works for you. I've been drawing little symbols down at the bottom for the different characters. The empath is a heart, the guardian's a shield, the explorer is a magnifying glass. Don't really like it, but it's still fun to play with. And then the commander is a castle. Could be a flag, could be anything. Just play with it. But stick with this framework. Trust me, it works. It's great. And it's a way of compiling a lot of these life lessons that I've been through, that I've learned through mentors and things like that, and spent a lot of money researching and reading books and taking programs and getting certification and things like that. So this does help. It works. Stick with the framework. It'll work for you. And it might even start working the first day, the second day even. It's just like, I actually kind of feel good today. What was that? Life lesson learned. Journaling's pretty cool. All right. So thank you very much for watching. I hope that this video got you started on the journaling process. Throughout the 30-day challenge, you're going to get more techniques, more videos, more explanations on the specifics of these areas. I go through each of the 4 characters and give how-tos and key techniques that you can actually go through to bring out more of those. Like bringing out the values, steps to achieving goals, different creativity boosters and ways of approaching creativity, how to change and reframe your past and the beliefs that you've gotten from your past and things like that. So it really does elaborate on a lot of those. But if you're just not ready for it, I hope that you at least stick with this journaling process and you go through it, give it a chance, because it will work. All right, team.